Here's what you should know about your local housing market in this week's Market Update. We're at a funny spot in the market right now in terms of seasonality. It's the last full week before most of the schools around here start. Most schools start next week, but it's also a funky time because Labor Day is late this year. So Labor Day is not for another week. So there's not a ton of homes coming on the market. Most of the home sellers I'm talking to, and a lot of my other colleagues, their sellers are waiting until after Labor Day, which is good advice. People have got a lot of stuff going on. While there are definitely a lot of buyers out there, a lot of them are preoccupied with getting ready for school, with still getting the last licks of summer. So it looks as though there is inventory waiting to come on the market until after Labor Day. The big question is just how much inventory is that? I know that I have homes that I'm waiting until after Labor Day to put on the market, but whether there's going to be a huge influx and relief in inventory is a big question mark. Will we see more homes come on the market after Labor Day than we're seeing right now? Yes, most likely. Are there home sellers that are ready to put their house on the market but are holding off on doing that until after Labor Day? Absolutely. But at the same time, I don't want to get my buyers too excited thinking that we're going to see a flood of inventories, or that if there's a home that they like, that they should pass up on it because there's going to be so many better options after Labor Day. I anticipate we're going to continue to see a tight inventory environment through the remainder of the year, at least. High competition. The good houses are going to go fast and going to be bidding wars, and the opportunities are going to be few and far between continually. So if you see a house that you like and there's just one or two little things slightly off, don't anticipate that there's going to be another better house around the corner. Well, there's always possible that the perfect house comes on the market next week. The odds are that the market's going to continue the way it has been, and that your next opportunity might not be for a while. So buyers, be ready to pounce on a good opportunity and be competitive. Sellers, let's get ready for that post-Labor Day blitz, because fall market is not that long. It's strong. It is a good, strong market. Historically, fall market and spring market have similar activity, although fall market, before you know it, it's over. It's a much shorter market, so you got to be able to pounce on those opportunities, and you've got to be able to time it correctly, get moving quickly. So that being said, let's get into the stats this week and see what's going on in Morristown, Chatham, Madison, Harding, Mars Plains, Mendham, Chester, Bernardsville, Basking Ridge, and Randolph. So this past week, we saw 33 homes come on the market in these towns. That is 23% less homes than came on the market last week. Houses, we saw 24 of these were single-family houses, and 9 of them were condos or townhouses. The average list price of the homes that came on the market this past week, $854,000. That's a 26% decrease over last week. And total inventory in these towns, we see just 261 homes on the market. That's even with last week. Total homes sold this past week, we saw 41 homes sell this past week. That's a 413% increase over just the 8 homes sold the prior week. So that's a lot of homes sold this week. Probably a lot of that those spring deals closing up before the end of the summer, before school starting. The average list price of these homes that sold this past week, $1,167,000. The average sale price, $1,198,000. So this past week, homes sold on average 3% above list price, which is about even with what we saw last week. Breaking it town by town, we did see 2 towns where homes sold below list price. Keep in mind, each of these towns, it was just one sale. Mendham, there was 1 home sold this past week, and that went 5% below list price. And Bernardsville, there was 1 home that sold this past week, and that was 5% below the list price. Otherwise, every town went substantially above list price. Anywhere from Randolph and Mars Plains went 2% above list price. Basking Ridge, 5.1% above list price. Harding, 3% above list price. Morristown and Township, 5.4% above list price. Chester, 5.8% above list price. Chatham, 3.9% above list price. What else we got here? And then Madison, 12.3% above the list price. So for the most part, homes are selling above and substantially above list price, aside from a few outliers. Average days on market of these homes that sold, 30 days on the market, pretty consistent with what we've been seeing. Under contract. Homes that went under contract this past week, again, under contract is the most current data and the least complete data. So it is the best indication of where we are in the market right now in this point in time. These are the deals that are being put together right now. The only challenge is we don't have all of the information until they close in a few months. So we saw 28 homes go under contract this past week. That's 18% less than we saw last week. The average list price of the homes that went under contract, $888,000. That's 11% less than last week's average list price. And then average days on market, these homes went under contract after just 25 days on the market, which is 22% less days on the market than we saw last week. So that being said, thank you so much for checking in with me. It's not Labor Day weekend this weekend, but it is for most people the last weekend of summer before school starts. But it looks like we'll all have another pool weekend the following week with a day off. So not quite sure what to make of this timing. It's a very odd time, but I hope you enjoy this weekend, your remainder of summer. And if your kids are going back to school next week, I wish them the best of luck. Catch you again next week.